Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea, I am your host, and today I'm pleased to introduce Steve Crowe, the Managing Director of Yachting Pages. How are you, Steve?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great, thank you for coming on board. I mean, the reason I brought you here is that you wrote an article recently about how you are using your boat show budget now that all these boat shows have been canceled. Some of these people, it's a significant part of budget for a lot of companies. I mean, some are saving hundreds of thousands, others are saving tens of thousands. What are people doing with this budget? Are they deciding to save it until next year, or are they actually, because it's already been put in their budget, are they trying to make a better use of it?
I think many businesses are still thinking about what they're going to do with that money. Many, unfortunately, have spent a proportion of it in trying to get to boat shows, and it takes many months of planning and preparation to get ready for a boat show or yacht show. So I think many have lost a little bit of money already. Many are just wondering, where are we going to meet these new potential customers? How are we going to meet? How are we going to contact? How are we going to connect with? How are we going to stay in touch with our existing customers? It's a very difficult one. We've definitely noticed an uplift in the number of visits and uses of our website over the last few months. We've basically had a record July and a record August in terms of number of visits to our website, and we largely put that down to the later season. The Mediterranean yachting season has obviously been delayed. And is still going on for some yachts, which is a good thing, despite there being no Cannes or Monaco yacht shows. And the show is still going on in terms of some charters, which is good news. But to answer your question, it's a real mixed bag. We've had big shipyards from Holland contact us for the first time in decades almost, saying, hey, we've got no boat shows, we've still got budget, can you help us reach a new potential target market? We've had a lot of our, just about all of our existing customers carry on doing exactly what they were doing last year, because as we all know, if you stop marketing in a crisis, in a situation like this, then you get left behind. And there are others that are just waiting. They're waiting. They're still planning. They're still looking at how to react. So there are many businesses they're just out there. They're deciding. They're being decisive about things. And there are others that are pondering still. So it's a real mixed bag.
Well, I mean, we now know that Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show is still planning on going ahead, but it isn't actually going to be an international boat show because we literally are not allowed to fly into the US at this stage. So that does leave a huge amount of marketing budget within the European marketplace that is unaccounted for, because from what I understand, Monaco Yacht Show and FLIBS are two of the most expensive yacht shows to be part of.
Yeah, I don't know any yacht show that's cheap to be a part of or even to get in. But we love the Monaco Yacht Show, we love FLIBS, we love all the yacht shows that we attend, including Cannes as well. And it's a real shame that we can't even get to the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. As you say, we're not allowed to fly in. Yes, we're going to be saving money, but it's a challenge. We normally distribute thousands of books during the Fort Lauderdale Yacht Show of our American and Caribbean edition of Yachting Pages. But that's going to be more of a challenge. We'll still get it done. We work with a local partner there who will distribute our books for us, but to not even be able to get there is a real challenge. We can't do it, and it's a shame because we love the Fort Lauderdale Yacht Show.
Do you think it's responsible for them to have gone ahead, regardless of the fact that people from all areas can get there?
Well, it hasn't gone ahead as yet. And I think it's a real tough decision by any country's leader and any boat show organizer. It's a really tough decision to weigh up the pros of organizing and running an international event against the health risks, really. My team were ready to go, but they were apprehensive about the health risks of, just the health risks of sitting on an aeroplane for 6 or 7 hours. So I don't know if I can answer that question really. It's a real tough one. It's a tough decision for anybody to make. I mean, look at Cannes. The Cannes Yachting Festival were hell-bent. They were trying in vain to run that show, and they sadly had to cancel it at the last minute. It's a real tough one, because so many of us depend on these yacht shows for our income. We don't sell yachts, we sell marketing and advertising solutions, but we meet the people that want to buy those at these yacht shows. So it's a real big source of income for many people. So I can totally understand why the organisers of the Fort Lauderdale show want it to go ahead, because it provides the income for the industry.
Well, I think it is definitely, yachting by its very nature is a sort of a community of people. And because it's very nomadic as well, it's a small industry, but it is straight across the world, the face of the planet. So these are opportunities for people to come together, people that have, the only time they get to see each other is this once a year at this boat show. So it's like a reunion of sorts every single year too. So I do understand that people want to have that connection and they want to have that feel. We have seen, for example, Boat 2020, that what I think was 6 o'clock on the eve of the boat show. All of a sudden that was up in smoke. And it's unfortunate because, some of these smaller companies, that's pretty much their entire marketing budget of the year. And if it gets up to that point, they've already spent the money. There isn't any getting that money back.
No, it's tough. I mean, we spent a lot of money on planning for the boat shows, hotels, travel, flights, many, the whole deal. And whilst we have got insurances in place, it's a full-time job just claiming that money back if you can, from your insurances. It's real tough, and in some cases you just don't get it back. It's difficult. So. What do you do? It's tough, but hopefully someday soon, this will be behind us, and we'll all be enjoying a nice chilled glass of rosé in a beautiful surroundings, looking at amazing boats, yachts, mega yachts, super yachts, and it'll all be behind us, and we can smile about it, and you'll see our smile because we won't have masks on because it'll all be over.
That's right. Well, you know what? I mean, it's like life. Everything has to move forward in one way or another. And it wasn't just digital that you were talking about. There were a few other ideas that you had in which people should be spending their money at this stage.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, digital is great for many businesses, and digital can be obviously with Google. It can be with a provider like us, where we just the SEO and the referencing through Yachting Pages will help get your business out there and in front of your target market. But you can also what about many companies we found they've got the literature that they would normally have had available to give out at the yacht shows, the boat shows, and we run a service and have done since almost 10 years, where we deliver other people's marketing material, promotional items, gifts, that kind of thing, and we hand deliver that to yachts. We were even out in a little tender last week and the week before, delivering to yachts a whole nice big Yachting Pages goodie bag full of useful industry brochures and freebies. We've had gin samples, we've had rum samples. I mean, what better to give to yacht crew than rum? And many nice promotional items and freebies. We were out we delivered to Sailing Yacht A and a number of massive yachts just last week. But so you can do that. Find a way. If you've got digital sorted, find another way of getting your promotional material, your brochures, your message to yachts. Whether that be hand delivering yourself in your local area, or engaging someone like us to do that further afield. But what else? I mean, print in today's age, which is predominantly digital. print has kind of got a prestige again. It's nice to be able to sit down with a magazine or a book of some description. So consider print. Print certainly isn't dead, and the kind of people that are using print and are decision makers, they're the target market who still use print. It's why our directories are still very much alive, because when you've been using a Yachting Pages directory for almost 20 years, then you don't just stop using it tomorrow because everyone's on Instagram. But other things you can do, how's your email marketing? Think of your email marketing. Have you got your database of contacts sorted? Are you regularly communicating with your existing customers, telling them everything that's new, everything that's going on, telling them you're still alive? Send them an email to ask how they are. Tell your customers that you are still alive. Look at your systems. During lockdown, we basically looked at all of our systems. We embarked on a new mission to get a new CRM going to improve our efficiency there. We discovered, like many businesses, things like Zoom, things like Teams. We also completely changed our phone system, because our phone system in the office is great because we've all got boxes on the floor. But when people had to take those plastic phones home and they had Ethernet, 10-meter Ethernet cables trailing across the lounge onto the kitchen table, it's a bit of a hazard for the children and the pets. So we've now got a new phone system which we researched and invested, which has no cables. It just operates on your mobile or on your PC. So there's no wires whatsoever. And the telephone number follows you around. What else could you do? What's your website look like? Is your website optimized? When did you last update it? When did you last add photos to it? Have you got a website? It's surprising the number of businesses that we deal with that still don't have a website. And by the way, unashamed plug, if you do need a website, we can help you with that. But elsewhere, PR. Are you using PR to the best of your advantages? PR isn't just about getting a press release out and into a local magazine, newspaper or website. PR is also all about backlinks. If you get published in the right website, in the right place, things could go viral and you could end up with some backlinks from some really big players. And as we all know, if you get enough good backlinks to your website, that will improve your own SEO. There's a million different things you can do, but it's as long as you're doing something. I think the general consensus is that marketing during these times, it won't work to do nothing. It won't work to do exactly the same as you always did. You can't go to a boat show. You do need to do something. If you're doing something with your marketing, whoever it's with, then that's better than doing nothing. Think about radio as well. We've all spent a hell of a long time cooped up indoors, and we've noticed more than anything that the number of visits to our website, as I said earlier, has gone up because people have been consuming digital. People have been listening to the radio more. People haven't been going outside and looking at billboards or they've not been traveling around, but digital and radio is another idea which you could explore. But,
something for me, when you're talking about yachting, it is a worldwide industry, and the only way to reach out very easily, is through the internet. Every single person is carrying around, as you just showed. You showed us your phone. Everyone has one of those in their pocket. It goes everywhere with us. And in a day and age where everyone's saying that we're all going to get microchipped, they just don't realize that we already are. They know where we are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week anyways. But it's an internet that is accessed by the rich, by the poor, by the middle class, by the old, by the young. It is one internet, and every one of us have a phone of some sort. Some of us have flip phones, my mother. But most of us have the kind of phone that can access Google, and any question that you could possibly imagine is accessed right there on that phone. And so I don't understand why people haven't really taken that leap into digital as they maybe perhaps could have a few years back.
It is pretty astonishing, really. But it's why many businesses don't get anything from social media either. They don't have Facebook, they don't have Instagram, they don't have LinkedIn. It's a shame, but it's fairly typical of so many small to medium-sized businesses, in that they're so busy doing a good job at repairing engines or recovering upholstery or whatever it may be. They just don't have time to, at the end of a 12-hour day, when they've sent out the quotes and the invoices, they haven't got time to find out how to do a post on Facebook or Instagram. And it's just too complicated for them. As is the way with, Google is a good way of advertising, Google AdWords, PPC, pay-per-click. But I think the figure I recently heard was that 7 out of 10 people that try and start to a Google pay-per-click AdWords campaign, 7 out of 10 give up. Because it's just too complicated. Sorry, that's our amazing phone system working. But 7 out of 10 people don't even get to the end of it. So it's just one of those facts. So I would encourage any small business to try and get the best they can out of all the different forms of marketing, and just do something. Do something. Doing nothing is not acceptable. Do something.
Well, and I think that's the key too, is that every single one of us, we have what we're good at. I don't think ever, I would hope nobody would ask me to drive their boat or be a captain of a boat, because I can tell you right now, I get seasick. So that would be the wrong place for me. Likewise, I know what I'm doing in this forum, with social media, with Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. We all have our special gifts. And I think what we need to do is realize that and sort of hand that over to those that have the gift and let them do their job. Definitely.
Most definitely. Yeah. Video, you mentioned YouTube. How many of us have got a YouTube channel? We've got one, but there's not much on it. There needs to be more on it. So it's something that we're working on, but every business should take more photos. Every business should take more video and do something with it. Or find someone that can, and you don't need tripods and $1,000 Sony, professional recording cameras. Just the camera on your mobile phone is good enough these days. But just, do more, do more marketing.
Well, and I think really at the end of the day, people are sort of sick and tired of reality television, because it actually isn't reality anymore. We all know it's very well scripted, and they like the personable. We like to do business with people we feel we know. And the more often that you see somebody on screen, the more you become familiar with them, and the more they become like that friend you've known forever, but you don't actually really know them. But that doesn't really compute with you anymore. So I think it's important, even if it's going for a hike, even if it's going for a bike, if you're in the local pub and somebody's doing something silly, those kind of things I think people find very fascinating, much more than the polished corporate video that so many people have been thinking they need to put out there. That isn't necessarily the case, and that's not what the audience wants nowadays.
No, I think it's different if you're selling yacht charters or selling boats, but I think for the vast majority of businesses out there, they haven't got £4,000 or £5,000, euros or dollars to spend on one video. But they've got, as you said earlier, they've got this great little thing in their pocket, which is good enough. You can get free editing software online as well, and I don't know. I think we should all be learning to do something new. With as the UK sort of Corona and COVID restrictions go up again, I think we'll have time to learn to do new things. So I would encourage every business owner out there, no matter how big or small, to learn something new this week and to do something new with their marketing.
Well, I'm not learning anything new. I'm busy keeping my children alive. So you know what? I think I've accomplished a lot just with that. Over the last 6 months, I tell you, when you're a single parent and you've got 2 kids at home, they're alive, we're winning. I mean, that's just a win straight across the board.
So your homeschooling was keeping them alive. You've done well.
No, the fact that I was homeschooling and didn't kill them sort of was a bonus, really. Because homeschooling actually, it reiterated to me the fact that I was never good with math, that's for sure, and a few other subjects as well, because when your 12-year-old looks at you and just shakes their head, you know that, you know, perhaps you were really lucky to graduate, let alone go off to university. So old age, I think, is taking my brain away. Anyways, I'm glad that, you know, at least the kids are back to school now. And yeah, maybe we can all concentrate on learning something new.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, Steve, I really do appreciate your time, and thank you for bringing that to our attention, because it is so true. You know, if you're talking hundreds of thousands that you have saved, it is probably wise to get your you know, your company logo out there, like Yachting Pages, to get your image out there and to really sort of say, hey, we're still here. Just because there's not a yacht show doesn't mean that we're not still here. We're in business. We're still here to do whatever we need to do for you. And come on over and inquire about our services. Most
definitely, yeah. Whoever you do it with, I mean, whoever you do your marketing with, whoever you choose to do more marketing with, just do something. That's the message I'd like to give.
Wonderful. Once again, this has been Steve Crowe, Managing Director of Yachting Pages. We'll provide a link to the article that he wrote underneath this interview. I thank everyone for tuning in. And as Steve said, do invest in your marketing, whatever it may be. It's a wise decision, especially in 2020. You've been watching another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. Tune in again for another episode.